If you are a runner, you've definitely heard the saying, you gotta run slow to get fast. Zone 2 training is the long-term solution to improving your running times, as well as being the most enjoyable. This is something I've really been focusing on recently, and I want to share everything I've learned about this training zone so you can maximize the benefits and improve your running performance. So let's get into it. Zone 2 sessions are always the most enjoyable, and this is mostly because they are so easy, at least when you're a relatively new runner. As you progress in this zone over the months and years, your body becomes more efficient at moving in an aerobic state. Building up your aerobic base is a long-term form of progression, but over time, it is going to allow us to run faster in an easier state, which is the ultimate holy grail of running. When we focus on this type of training, we reduce our risk of injury and we feel a lot better after our run, compared to when we're usually breathing out our arse after an interval session. So the first thing you need to do is figure out where your zone 2 range is. This is because it's very easy for you to run too fast when you first start off and end up in zone 3, which they call the grey zone. We need to avoid this so we recover effectively from our runs and actually improve our aerobic fitness. So how do we ensure we're in zone 2? When I first started trying to improve my zone 2, I would either try to maintain nasal breathing during my run or hold a conversation if I was running with someone. If you're just starting out, then this can be a really good starting point. However, this isn't always going to guarantee that you're in zone 2. When I look back over some of my easy runs, I would notice that my heart rate would spike well above 150 during certain periods. And this could have been that I was just trying to maintain my pace while running uphill, or I just lost concentration and wasn't keeping an eye on how fast I was actually going. So you do really need to be wary of your heart rate while you're running. This is why I got myself a heart rate monitor, and I used the MAF method to calculate my max zone 2 BPM. To use this method, you take 180 and subtract your age, and this will give you your max zone 2 BPM. For me, this is 150. And you then make personal adjustments to it based on your current health and fitness. For example, if you're recovering from major illness or surgery, then you would subtract 10 beats. If you're recovering from injury, your training has plateaued, or you get frequent infections like cold and flu, then you subtract another 5 beats. However, if you've been training consistently for over 2 years without injuries or some of the other issues mentioned, then you can add an additional 5 beats. So go do some calculations with this method and figure out your max zone 2 BPM. It's still not 100% accurate and you will need a heart rate monitor, but for me personally, I think it beats nasal breathing as it gives you something to track and measure during your easy runs. We have to remember to stay disciplined and keep that heart rate down in that zone 2 range. This means slowing down when you come to a hill, or if it gets too hot, to even a walking pace if you have to, just to make sure we get the benefits. We also want to make sure our breathing is nice and controlled during our run, drawing deep breaths in and out through the nose. This is so that we keep our heart rate nice and level and don't accidentally spike into that grey zone. Also, it might benefit you more to do these easy sessions by yourself, but if you do decide to run with someone, just ensure you keep an eye on that heart rate. The most important thing with zone 2 training is consistency. The results come over months and years of staying disciplined, and over time you should notice your average pace going up. For me personally, I've only just learned about the importance of staying in zone 2 and why we do it. And so I will make an updated version of this video in the future to talk about my progress as well as what else I have learned. But that's everything for this video. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe. Thank you.